Hey guys, so I'm going to answer a question that was put to me. I'll lay it on the screen right here. Hello, Stef. It's Norman. So, about college degree, you're completely right. I've read some university books, and they all cover fundamentals without teaching us how to program, though I believe that fundamentals are always important. The problem is that they only cover fundamentals without additional skills like programming. Yeah, it is always about being in the playground, or as the soccer players say, it's about being on the pitch. But a question remains for me. I myself have not any college degree, and I'm a developer. And I am shocked now to ask one friend of mine who told me that embassies and immigration officers need you to have a degree to qualify you for having a work visa. Is this correct, as he said, or not? What are those qualifiers for a working visa? Well, first of all, it depends what country. Some countries are more open to non-degree, some are closed. That being said, if you want to get a work visa in a foreign country, having a degree does indeed help quite a bit. That said, if you don't have a degree, you can get in through work experience, provable work experience. So if you have several years of experience working for especially larger organizations, then your chances of getting in also increase quite a bit. The main concern about countries that are bringing people on work visa, they want to make sure that they actually get a job, they actually contribute, do work. Now, the way to go about doing that is to contact an employer or potential employers in the target country, and if they are interested in you, they'll be able to help you to get into that country. It's not necessarily easy. I've had friends who've come from Canada moving into the US, and they were able to get in not because of their degree, but because of their extensive work experience in the field. It's always more difficult when dealing with larger organizations and bureaucracies, whether it be going from country A to country B or just trying to get into very large organizations. Though this is shifting, it is still advantageous if you want to work for large businesses to have a degree. There's no question about that. But again, it's shifting. As I've mentioned in previous videos, there are studies, like, for example, Google came out about a year or so ago. They found that there was no difference in terms of performance, whether somebody had a degree working for them at Google or whether they had no degree. That said, you have HR departments, human resource departments, and they have bureaucracies, and bureaucracies will have protocols. And you have to understand, people who work for large organizations, they don't want any risk. That's one of the reasons they're there. And so they're going to follow the protocol, and they're not going to stick their neck out no matter what, unless you're like a real special candidate, individual. But don't be disheartened. Everybody thinks about the big companies. Well, 80% of jobs are actually derived from working for small business. And there is a huge growing trend towards freelancing and being your own business owner, where larger corporations will contract with you, Coder Inc. So you happen to be a web developer or highly experienced iOS developer. Very likely you will be brought in on a contract. And in that situation, the degree is not important because, well, it's not nearly as important because now you're being brought in as a contractor, as a separate business, rather as an employee. So you want to keep that in mind as well. So, as I said, higher degrees can help, especially in certain fields. There's no question, but they're becoming less and less relevant over time, depending on the profession. If you're going to be a medical doctor, you obviously have to have a degree. If you're going to practice law, apparently, you have to have a degree. But for software development and programming and so forth, unless you really have your heart set on very large corporations, the degree doesn't have much of an impact whatsoever. Again, as I've said in other videos, the three most valuable assets you have going forward are your skills, your reputation, and IP, intellectual property. Reputation is built on your resume, how much work you've done, which you should profile on your website, make sure it looks good. on your degrees if you have it, on certifications if you have it. All this plays into it. We don't live in a single variable world. Many factors play into whether or not people are successful. Zuckerberg did not get his degree. Steve Jobs did not get his degree. Bill Gates did not get his degree. Michael Dell did not get his degree. I could go on. These are all self-made billionaires, leaders in the tech field. So, I use those examples. They're extreme examples, but it goes to show what I'm trying to say. And Bob's your uncle.